This is my third take of meme review. So, Jesus never prescribed a government. America as an idea and a country works against Christ. People put up the values of the country above the values of Christ. And they also put their own reasoning in front of Christ. So it's not hard to think that people rely on their own reasoning to depend on their government for the insurance of their life instead of Christ. And it wouldn't be too far out of left field to think that's why everything is falling apart. And also why nobody with capital or buying the game or has benefited from the system is paying attention to what's happening. Like, I can tell people straight to their face that the natural birth rate of America is collapsed. Kids are graduating high school and going to college, not being able to read past a fourth grade level. That our universities are filled with foreign-born students that will graduate to work at lower wages to send off to their other countries, to their home countries, instead of natural-born citizens. We are loading them up with the debt so that the foreign-born citizens. And the first thing I get accused of is, you're racist. They can't look at the fact that, like, everybody's moving back in with their parents. People are working full-time above minimum wage and can't afford anything. You can say all of this stuff, and they do not realize how catastrophic that is. Because they're not even measuring by their own metrics why things are good or bad. And Christians are falling into that with, as long as I got mine, why do I care? Jesus is taking care of me and blessing me, right? Like, all the stuff that you take advantage of, like, as conveniences, like houses, let's be honest, cars, technology, phones, modern medical equipment and practices. You take all that for granted, man. When half of your country can't even access it. And that's including people born here. It's because this is all vapid. This is all holographic. Solomon said themselves, vanities of vanities. When you live under the veil for so long, you start relying on it like a blanket. And it's not protecting you from anything. It's almost like the emperor has new clothes, but it's an entire country. Not gonna lie. Looking at how bad our military is doing, how is people not put two and two together and be like, oh, that's how America is? Okay. Like, Iran's a joke, man. Like, the command and everything. And I think it's because we don't have to directly witness the consequences of our lifestyle. We can validate our lifestyle that it's not hurting anyone and that it's the superior one because you have the most amenities. When in fact, your entire lifestyle depends on your government having the most military power in the world to control the flow of goods. And we're finding out that it's not even that. is the projection of power. So the country that won 2 world wars, but immediately lost every war since, was holding up the power of the world in its defense of trade routes. And because the facade is up, me, who wasn't even around for this crap, can't find a house to live in I can afford, or a job I can do. It's because the ones with the ability won't, because that veil has become a blanket, and they've got so comfy that they're asleep, and it's just the 10 more minutes. I heard somebody else talk about this, but it's like, I've been telling people, my job is to make people uncomfortable. I am really good at that. And I don't mean like, I mean, at one point, probably, but not currently. Anyway, wow, that was a real Dr. Seuss way to say it. But like, currently, I don't do things just to upset people. I do things to find like the truth, right? Not even for my own aggrandizement. Just I want to understand everything I can, right? Fool's errand, I get it. But every metric is pointing to the complete decline and destruction of America. And we're sinking ship, and we keep saying, hey, 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 but the ones who are driving the ship are also the ones fighting over the silverware, which are also the ones who are blocking the people with kids and wives from getting off the boat. Your kids should be driving newer cars than you. Your kids should be better off than you in every way. And the reason people don't do that, because they're afraid that if they do that, they'll have everything they need and they'll run away. Which just is a testament to how you feel about being a parent, or how you were as a parent. Because, like, if you're buying something new and your kid doesn't have something they need, what's wrong with you? What's Christian about that? If you are going with excess and your child is going without, what's Christian about that? Especially if they're faithful. Especially if they've come back to the faith. Because if they left it in the first place, the only place they learn their faith from is their parents and how they live it out. Not just the theology, but the practica. All right? So I think parents need to realize that their children are just like a direct projection of their parenting style and their faith. And the reason that there are so many failures to launch, just go, sorry, mom, sorry, dads, moms and dads both, y'all were bad. And you're afraid that if you reconcile, they'll pull the rug from under you. I get it. But, like, isn't that a better ending than them dying or being homeless, or their children that want grandparents to help never find out who their grandparents are? Like, isn't it better that your kids are better off than yourself? But because it happens overseas, it doesn't bother me. Well, now it's starting to bother you. Millennials and Zoomers are going homeless after working multiple full-time and part-time jobs. How does that make sense? And how does that make sense while you're sitting in your houses? You're afraid of your own children? Why? That's not Christian. You got some pride to get over if you're afraid of your children. Because you're just going to be afraid of what they're going to expose. They're afraid of what you're going to say to them. How do I say that better? They are afraid of realizing that their kids know. And they're afraid of having that conversation because they know they were messed up. How do I say that even better? Xers and boomers are afraid of accountability and taking responsibility because they never had to. And between the pretty much giving every opportunity handed to them in the boomers, and just like the cool guy's cynicism, nihilism that we learned from the Xers, like they're just deflecting from the fact that no, they owe everything they have now to their children, and that includes control, because the only way that we're going to get out of this rut is reconciliation. What does this have to do with the government? Because it's been encouraged by the very government that people argue about. Both sides are doing it. And just because your team is currently winning doesn't mean you're right. Because both teams play for the same owner. We've convinced ourselves as a human race that it is better for large amounts of people to go without, for a select few to go with. And that's completely antithesis to Jesus. But we've dressed up America as Jesus. That Jesus would love America. God bless America. It's funny. Have you noticed that everything relating to God in the Constitution or any government is just God? When do they ever say Jesus Christ? Because it's Judeo-Christian and, blah, blah, blah. But, like, we've convinced ourselves that it's good for our kids to go without so I can be more comfortable. That's biologically suicide. That's species-wide suicide. See what I'm trying to get at? America's tricked itself into making life a game, a competition, a tournament, instead of something that we do. That necessities are commodities, and that things that are necessary for a functional society are privileges. And I'm going to close up with this. It makes people really confused, and I'll talk about it maybe another time, but like, if Jesus were to have a political ideology, he wouldn't have one, but he would operate as an anarcho-socialist. That's contradictory. Listen. It's like you just do what's right because Jesus wants you to. And that would mean everybody just gets what they need to follow Christ. And you can't enforce that. You can't compel that. You can't make someone. It's literally just pure voluntarism, ideologically. And it's like an idealist voluntarism. You do what's right just because it's right. Why would you want to do something wrong? Well, what do you know it's right? Jesus Christ is the absolute ideal according to the Bible. You believe in the Bible? Yes, there's no scientific evidence. Correct. It's based on faith. Well, that's stupid. Have you tried it? No. Okay. We've tried this science thing. We've tried this government thing. We've tried this traditional thing. We've tried all these different experiments, and we are about to blow ourselves up. Give faith a try. And faith would look like, I have access. I don't need access. God provides. Christ is there. Christ is the ideal. I have access. They have deficit. Here you go for the betterment of the kingdom. There's nothing Christian about government. Government is a system of the Antichrist, of the beast, of Satan himself. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is Christian anarchy is really cool, bro.